What would Andrew Berry's message to the fans be?
My message to the fans is we know how difficult this year has been, and we appreciate the loyalty, the passion, the commitment to the team, regardless of what we're going through, and that's something we will never take for granted. My commitment to you all is to make sure that we find the right leader and build the right roster that allows us to have perennials.
The Cleveland Browns are on the brink of making a game-changing decision that could define the future of the franchise. Right now, in the shadows of the team facility in Berea, Ohio, decisions are being made that will determine the future of the next head coach. Owner Jimmy Haslam and general manager Andrew Berry have been deep in intense discussions. Second interviews are underway, and insiders are hinting that things could escalate very soon, possibly within days or even hours. The tension is rising, the countdown is on, and Browns fans everywhere are on the edge of their seats because the next move will shape the future of this franchise for years ahead. This is more than just another coaching search. This is all about preserving a legacy that has been struggling with dysfunction since 1999. Make sure to subscribe right now because we're diving into one of the most intense coaching searches in NFL history. Believe me, you definitely won't want to miss what's on the horizon. Let me set the scene for you about our current situation. Just 2 weeks back, on January 5th, the Browns unleashed a major surprise that rocked the NFL world. Kevin Stefanski, a two-time Coach of the Year and the guy who took the Browns to the playoffs in both 2020 and 2023, has been let go. All set. After 6 seasons, the record stands at 45 wins and 56 losses. Even after snagging those impressive awards, Jimmy Haslam felt it was time to shake things up. The news dropped just a day after the Browns wrapped up a tough 5-12 season, landing them at the bottom of the AFC North standings. Now, this is where things start to heat up. Despite Stefanski getting the boot, Andrew Berry, the GM who joined the Browns in 2020, is still in the mix. Not only retained, but also empowered to spearhead the search for Stefanski's successor. The decision definitely caught a lot of attention around the league, especially considering how closely these two were connected. They united, crafted this roster as a team, executed the Deshaun Watson trade collectively, and yet, in the end, only one of them remains standing. On that chilly January morning, Jimmy Haslam faced the cameras and gave a speech that stretched over 6 minutes long. His message hit hard, straight to the point, and packed with urgency. He emphasized that he is fully accountable for the current state of the Browns. It's clear that securing only 8 wins over the last 2 seasons is a dismal performance and simply can't be tolerated. And then he delivered the line that every Browns fan absolutely needs to grasp. He stated, and I quote, "The next 120 days are crucial for the organization." Just let that sink in. 4 months. That's the time frame Jimmy Haslam has set for himself, Andrew Berry, and the whole front office to get this struggling team back on track. From the instant Stefanski was let go on January 5th until the NFL draft in late April, every choice made during that period will shape the future of the Browns, either propelling them into contention or keeping them stuck in the rut of mediocrity. Haslam unveiled the strategy with pinpoint accuracy. Identify the ideal head coach. Maximize your strategy during free agency. Make sure to maximize those 10 draft picks, especially with 2 first-rounders in the mix. Bring in top-notch players who also have great character. Seize the moment when it comes to trades. It all looks good on paper, but Browns fans have been down this road before with promises that didn't pan out. This franchise has gone through a staggering 10 head coaches since 1999. And now, they're gearing up to bring in their 11th pick. This time around, Haslam promises it will be a whole new ballgame. He made a commitment to the fans for an improved experience, pledged to break the cycle of being a team that alternates between playoff appearances and disappointing seasons, and really put his reputation on the line. As soon as Kevin Stefanski was let go, Dion dropped a mysterious message on social media that sparked a ton of chatter. Just under half an hour after the news broke, Coach Prime took to Twitter with an inspiring message. "We're going to make it. Please get that in your heart, your spirit, and your way of living. It's 2026, and that means it's a new year. Therefore, it's time for new things. A whole new mindset is warranted and must be established right now. We're going to win this game of life." Notably, he didn't bring up Stefanski. The Browns weren't explicitly mentioned, but the timing was too coincidental to overlook. Fans quickly read between the lines, seeing it as Dion potentially angling for the Cleveland position, while also showing support for his son, who just parted ways with his head coach. But let's get to the heart of the matter. As Dion found himself sidelined in the coaching search, the Browns were busy making moves regarding Shador's future, indicating they might be gearing up to embrace him as their franchise quarterback. Andrew Berry, the general manager who brought Shador on board and weathered the Stefanski firing, recently held a press conference to discuss the rookie's development. Berry highlighted the significant growth he observed in Shador, noting improvements in both his mental and physical game. He praised Shador's playmaking skills, accuracy, and ability to extend plays with his mobility. But then Berry threw out the line that has Browns fans totally on edge. He mentioned, "I can't sit here and tell you today whether the solution for, or the starter in 2026 is internal or external, but that's something we're going to work by means of over the next several weeks. And quite honestly, the new coaching staff will also have a lot of input into that as well." It seems like Berry is keeping his options open, but behind the scenes, the momentum is shifting dramatically towards Shador becoming the guy. CBS Sports' Jonathan Jones has the scoop that Cleveland is gearing up for Sanders to take the reins as their starter in 2026. Consider the implications of that. After selecting Shador in the 5th round, which turned out to be a huge steal considering he was expected to be a first-round pick, we saw him start 7 games as a rookie. He finished with a record of 3 wins and 4 losses, completing 56% of his passes for 1,400 yards, along with 7 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. After witnessing him battle through harsh weather without any first-team reps during training camp or preseason, the Browns are gearing up to name him the starter. The stars are aligning just right for that to go down. Dante Moore, the standout quarterback from Oregon and a top prospect for the 2026 draft class, has just revealed that he will be returning to school for another season. That move really narrows down an already thin quarterback class and essentially takes Cleveland out of the running for snagging a top-tier first-round passer. The Browns are set to make their selection with the 6th overall pick in the upcoming draft. With more players choosing to stay in school, the top quarterbacks on the board include Colorado's Fernando Mendoza, Alabama's Ty Simpson, and potentially Miami's Carson Beck or Oklahoma's John Mateer in the later rounds. None of those players are viewed as surefire franchise cornerstones. Browns insider Mary Kay Cabot reported that Moore's decision is a huge boost for Shador, significantly enhancing his chances of landing the starting role. The financial reality surrounding Shador's position as the starter is pretty clear-cut. It just makes too much sense to keep him in that role. NFL analyst Josina Anderson highlighted that the Browns have made a smart and budget-friendly choice by focusing their efforts on Shador Sanders, who is currently on a 4-year rookie deal worth just $4.6 million, especially in a time when quarterback salaries are skyrocketing. When you look at Deshaun Watson, who's raking in over $50 million a year but struggles to stay healthy and deliver on the field, the decision is clear-cut. The Browns find themselves in a tough spot with Watson's contract, as releasing him would lead to a significant amount of dead cap space. It looks like the strategy is to revamp his contract, reducing that hefty 2026 cap hit from about $72 million down to around $40 million. This move would keep him on the team as a pricey backup while handing the reins over to Shador as the starting quarterback. We need to dive into those circumstances because they play a crucial role in grasping why this decision is not just urgent, but also significant. The Browns are sitting pretty with the 6th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. Plus, they've snagged a second first-round pick from Jacksonville thanks to that savvy trade Andrew Berry pulled off last year. The team holds a total of 10 picks in the draft, with an impressive 4 of those in the top 3 rounds. That's the fuel to revamp the offense, bring in new talent, secure some linemen, and possibly, just possibly, draft a quarterback. With free agency kicking off in March, Berry has indicated that the Browns are set to have plenty of salary cap space to go after some game-changing players. This roster features some top-tier talent. Myles Garrett stands out as one of the top defensive players in the game today. Denzel Ward has made a name for himself as a Pro Bowl cornerback. When he's on the field and healthy, Nick Chubb shines as a standout running back. The defensive line is absolutely loaded. There are gaps all over the offense. The offensive line struggled last season, showcasing a staggering 25 different combinations throughout the year. The wide receiver room took a hit when Mari Cooper was traded mid-season. The quarterback situation is totally up in the air. Are they going to stick with Deshaun Watson and just hope he can find his groove again? Will rookie Shedeur Sanders, a fifth-round pick who took the reins for the last 7 games last season, actually get a fair chance to compete? Will they pursue a free agent such as Sam Darnold, or will they look to trade for a player like M. Jones? Will they go ahead and grab a quarterback with that 6th overall pick in the draft? The outcome of all these decisions really depends on who's calling the shots as head coach. This is why we need to act fast. The new head coach absolutely needs to weigh in on the quarterback choice. He absolutely has to be involved in the draft process. He has to step up and influence the free agency game plan. The countdown is on. Free agency kicks off in March, and the draft is just around the corner in late April. Don't forget about Jimmy Haslam's 120-day window. We're already 2 weeks into the action. The coaching search has to come to a close quickly so the new head coach can dive into assembling his staff, assessing the roster, connecting with players, and gearing up for what could be the most pivotal offseason in Browns history. We can't overlook the fact that there's another layer to this situation. The spotlight is firmly on Andrew Berry. There's a lot of buzz surrounding why Berry is still in his position while Kevin Stefanski is not. Fans are definitely talking about it. They entered the scene as a unit, crafted the roster side by side, executed the Watson trade in unison, and endured 2 rough seasons together. What's the deal with Berry making it through while Stefanski doesn't? Haslam highlighted that Berry put together a foundational 2025 draft class, making savvy decisions such as bringing in defensive tackle Malik Collins, trading for cornerback Tyson Campbell, and discovering kicker Andre Schmidt. Haslam highlighted those moves as clear evidence that Berry has a keen eye for talent evaluation and roster construction. Berry's definitely feeling the heat, even if Haslam isn't ready to say it out loud. If this coaching hire doesn't pan out, if the new coach ends up with another 5-12 record, and if the offense continues to struggle, then Berry will be on the hot seat next. He's aware of it. Haslam is fully aware of it. That's exactly why Berry is diving into this search with the urgency of someone who knows their job is at stake. Sources are buzzing with news that the power dynamics within the Browns organization could be changing. Right now, both Berry and the head coach are reporting straight to Jimmy Haslam. The NFL usually follows a standard hierarchy where the head coach answers to the GM, who in turn reports to the ownership. This structure is quite different from what we typically see in the league. Haslam has chosen this approach as it reflects his style in the business arena. There are whispers among insiders that if Berry manages to stick around and brings in the next head coach, we might see a shift in the power dynamics. This could mean the new coach would report directly to Berry, rather than both of them being under Haslam's umbrella. That would elevate Berry's role, positioning him as the ultimate decision-maker on football issues, while Haslam steps back from the spotlight. It's still up in the air whether that will actually go down, but the chatter is real, and it highlights just how crucial these next few days are for everyone involved. It's during the second interviews that the real choices come into play. Schwartz and Munkin getting called back definitely shows that Berry and Haslam are starting to narrow down their options. These interviews are not just for show. We're taking a closer look at the philosophy, schemes, staff construction, quarterback assessments, and the overall vision for the franchise. They're throwing some tough questions out there. What changes would you make to improve the offense? Who are your top picks for coordinators? What's the game plan for Deshaun Watson? What's the best way to develop Shedeur Sanders? What type of offensive scheme would you implement? What's the best way to manage Miles? What are Garrett's trade demands if he starts feeling frustrated with the losses? What's the best strategy for rebuilding the offensive line? What's your outlook for this team in the first year, the second year, and the third year? The responses to those inquiries will decide who lands the position. There are some intriguing murmurs circulating that a decision might be on the horizon sooner than many anticipate. The Browns are looking to make quick moves, as each day without a head coach means lost time in their preparation efforts. Teams are making moves, bringing in new coaches, assembling their staffs, and gaining an edge as the offseason kicks into gear. The Falcons have brought in Kevin Stefanski. Absolutely. It's the same Kevin Stefanski that the Browns just let go, and he's already landed a new gig in Atlanta. The Giants have snagged John Harbaugh from the Ravens. The carousel is in full motion, and the Browns need to stay in the game. If Jim Schwartz or Todd Monken stands out as the frontrunner in these second interviews, expect an announcement to drop within the next 48 to 72 hours. Stay tuned. We can't ignore the impact of Jim Schwartz here. If the Browns pass on hiring him as head coach, what are the potential outcomes? Will he continue as the defensive coordinator with a coach like Monken or McDaniel at the helm? Will he take off for a head coaching gig elsewhere? Several teams are said to be keen on interviewing Schwartz. If he decides to leave, Cleveland would be losing the mastermind behind the league's top defense. That would be a total disaster. The Browns find themselves in a challenging situation. They've got two paths to consider. Either promote Schwartz and keep him on board, or bring in someone he can collaborate with, which definitely narrows down their choices. It's a strategic game where every move counts. The pressure is on for all parties involved. For Jimmy Haslam, it's all about leaving a mark that lasts. He purchased the Browns back in 2012 and has been at the helm during over a decade of struggles. This guy has let go of 6 head coaches, cycled through several GMs, made some head-scratching personnel moves, and seen his team turn into a joke, all while throwing cash around and attempting to create a winning squad. If this hire doesn't pan out and the Browns keep struggling, his legacy in Cleveland will be marked by chaos and letdowns. He gets it, and that's exactly why he's all in on this process. For Andrew Berry, it's all about staying in the game. At just 42 years old, he's a young GM ready to show he can hang with the NFL's top decision-makers. He's pulled off some impressive moves, like drafting Myles Garrett before he even got there, trading back in the draft to stockpile picks, and uncovering hidden talents like Denzel Ward and Nick Chubb. However, he's also committed some major blunders, particularly the Deshaun Watson trade and contract, which has significantly set the franchise back for years. This coaching hire is his opportunity to bounce back and prove that he possesses the vision and judgment needed to construct a winning team. If he misses the mark, his time as a GM in Cleveland could come to an abrupt end. For the players, particularly stars like Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, this is all about their careers and seizing the opportunity to win. Garrett stands out as one of the elite players in football, having earned the title of Defensive Player of the Year, yet he's caught in a situation with a team that hasn't tasted victory. It seems he's been feeling the heat from all the losses. Although he hasn't officially asked for a trade, the speculation is definitely circulating. If the Browns make a misstep in their coaching hire and keep racking up losses, it could lead to Garrett pushing for an exit, which would be a huge setback for the franchise. Ward finds himself in a similar situation. He's a top-tier cornerback at the peak of his career, and his eyes are set on victory. It's crucial for both of these guys to feel that the Browns are genuinely dedicated to constructing a competitive team. The choice of coach will definitely send a clear message about the authenticity of that commitment. For fans of the Browns, this is all about holding on to hope. This franchise is all about holding on to hope. It's been a tough journey for them ever since the team made its return in 1999. Fans have seen coach after coach struggle, quarterback after quarterback fall short, and season after season wrap up in letdown. They've faced seasons with no wins, a few with 3, and even some with 5, all while watching division rivals like Pittsburgh and Baltimore construct their dynasties, leaving Cleveland stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. With each coaching search, there's that glimmer of hope that this time, this coach, this hire could be the game changer we've all been waiting for. The fans absolutely deserve more, and they're fully aware of it. Jimmy Haslam gets it, and that's exactly why he stepped up in front of the cameras to assure everyone that a better product is on the way. So, what's the next move here? In the coming days, or possibly even within the next few hours, we can expect Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Berry to finalize their decision. They're going to choose the guy they think can take the Cleveland Browns from obscurity and bring them back into the spotlight. It might just be Jim Schwartz, the defensive genius who commands respect in the locker room and is familiar with the organization. It might just be Todd Monken, the offensive mastermind known for crafting top-tier units with a solid history of success. It might just be Mike McDaniel, the innovative offensive genius with ties to Cleveland. Jesse Emter might just be the guy to watch, the young defensive coordinator who's generating a ton of buzz in the football world. Or it might be a surprise pick that catches everyone off guard. The pressure is going to be off the charts, no matter who steps up. The expectations are going to be through the roof, and there's hardly any room for mistakes. The 120-day clock is counting down. The free agency period is just around the corner.
The draft is just around the corner. The Browns have to nail this one. Otherwise, they'll just keep spinning in that cycle of failure. If the situation doesn't improve, fans are bound to lose their faith, leaving the franchise trapped in a state of NFL limbo. It's more than simply bringing a coach on board. This is all about preserving a franchise, paying tribute to a legacy, and providing one of the most dedicated fan bases in the NFL with something they've been longing for over 20 years: a reason to have faith. Power meetings are going down as we speak. The clock is ticking, and soon enough, we'll find out if the Cleveland Browns have finally nailed it or if we're just turning the page on yet another saga of letdowns. The Cleveland Browns find themselves at a pivotal moment, and the choice of their next head coach will be crucial in deciding whether they head toward a future of competitiveness or remain mired in turmoil. As this story unfolds, keep your eyes peeled because this decision is set to create major ripples throughout the NFL, and the repercussions will be felt for years to come. This story pulls together insights from ESPN, NFL Network, Cleveland.com, and multiple league sources, focusing on the Browns' coaching search and key organizational moves. The situation is still in motion, with new developments coming to light as ownership and management push towards a final decision.